Good morning. Good to be with you. Good to be with you. I love you all dearly. By the way, you do know that teaching is like making love. Do you all know that? Please say yes. Because what happens, once the senses are attuned to the experience, they love it. They love it. And you know, all the expressions, everything that happens are very pleasing, very effective, and it is something that we do every day, several times during the day. So we are very busy people as we teach. And it's something that's going to work. Now, I'm here to talk to you a little bit about one of my friends called Spongy. Spongy, as you can see, is naked. Why? He doesn't have any clothes. He has just been born, just taken out of the womb, and now he's ready for this world. Poor kid. What this means is that Spongy, the name implies exactly what we're trying to accomplish here, will suck in everything that he's heard. Everything that he hears, you know, suck, 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 suck. That kind of feeling, that love, that warmth. So Spongy obviously has to be living with a family, and the family is there. And you'll notice that that family indicates the early years, obviously, is a very little child. Now, this child lives with a good family. The family loves very much what they do. They love to teach, they love to dance, and they invite a lot of people to the home. When the people come to the home, they express themselves openly, warmly, and the family very cordially brings them into their breast. There's movement. At that point, as they're doing this, Spongy sits there, listens, doesn't know much, but things go into that crust around him. Everything. So his family is happy. They sing a lot, they dance a lot, and they have a hell of a good time. And when they do that, Spongy sits there gleefully, wow, 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 wow. Then they start to talk to each other. He picks up words, particularly those words that have laughter to them. Now, Spongy and all of us will know that any laughter usually gives us a reassuring fix. So he loves that. And anybody who's laughing while they're talking, he comes into his system. Alas, one day, this well-bred family taught him many, many good things about how to live and look forward to the future. Brought in some friends, and these friends came in late at night, and they had a few drinks with them. And as they were talking, they were loud, raucous laughter, ho, 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 and as we used to see about them, popping down drinks. But before that, telling horrible jokes, ethnic jokes, racial slurs. Now, poor Spongy has to draw those into that one crust. It's in there now. You can't see it, but he can feel it. The tragedy is that the story begins with a first laughter that becomes a tremendous failure. The idea of absorbing a child thoughtlessly, a horrible statement, racial slur, ethnic joke, no, it doesn't work. But Spongy can't shift that off. So every time the company would come to the home, he would love that. He'd always be on time immediately, and he wants to be entertained by them. He wants to laugh with them, do everything that they want to do and he wants to do. He wants to have fun. And so he continues this path. And as it goes along this way, Spongy now gets a little bit older, and you're going to see him evolve into a rather old man. But at this moment, he is bright, he's happy, and he's confused. He doesn't know what these words really mean. The parents could hardly explain to them in any great depth why people do these things. He can't register that just yet. So it happens now that Spongy, in that situation, falls into the second category. The second category is that second crust, which is, as you could see it so gloriously, the peer group. The peer group, my God, will we ever get rid of peer groups? Will we ever? I think I like to walk around campus with an alarm bell when I see people, always the same people, walking the same way. Everywhere they go together. They don't need to have a guide, but it's a peer group that becomes rather infectious because don't forget, everything that that group does will be contained by Spongy, who belongs to one of those groups. And if I were there, I would have beaten the hell out of him, but he got there. So Spongy walks along with other groups. They laugh, they talk, they do all kinds of things, good things too. I am not denying that. But what I don't like is the consistency of relying on other people's opinion so that we look alike, we talk alike, we smell alike, we stink alike, and we are always happy together. And this is a situation, though, that does harm in a certain way. In a certain way. I'm not insisting too loudly on this, too heavily on this, but it is true that if you have a peer group, you've got a group that you like, you love them, they're good to you, you're good to them, but alas, don't forget this. There's also the possibility that a lot of this stuff is being done in a negative way, with disposing of those who can't join our group. And that might leave for the rest of their lives an impression that will never go away, never go away, never go away. And this does happen. It's an automatic feeling. It's a bad scene. It's an ugly scene. And this is where, again, Spongy just has to lay on and do as much as he can so that he can contribute to the world around him. He still loves laughter. He still takes it all in. And what you see, those crusts, I'll call them simply the crusts. The peer group, first the early group, the family group. Now the peer group is laden with negativity. No one is checking these out. There's nobody there to say, shh, can't do that, shh, can't do that. So the boy is being contaminated. Now Spongy is an intelligent lad. He's grown from his birthhood. He's grown into the peer group. And now this man has attained a ripe old age, living the way we've described. And he is a man who is in the best part of his life, the career group. If ever there were a group, my God, that I would like to blast with dynamite, it would be that one. Why? Because there too, all of these people contain all of these levels, all of these examples that you see here, and they are heavy coats. Actually, you could compare them to concrete coats with steel buttons. And it's impossible ever for them to put their clothes in a hanger. So they have to live with those thorns for the rest of their lives. I would give a lot of money if I could. If I had money, a lot of it. I would like to buy a jackhammer. Precious pearl, and go behind Mr. Spongy just to try to crack a little bit through the crusts. Too gone, too far, too late. Tragically. And I'll give you a true story in which I was involved several years ago in the doing speeches here and there, and I was invited to one in San Diego. And I'll never forget this. The first guy who came out to speak, a well-known comedian, I can't give you his name, but it was his routine. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen, how great you all are. I love to have it. Oh, just your greatest groups. You are the best group I've ever seen in my life. Woo! I love that suit. Amazing. Good taste, man, good taste. And as I was saying, the question of politics is rising more and more at a rapid, You're beautiful, man. Love your coat. Love your suit. Ooh, I wish I had that. Now, as we were going through this, he was talking about his stunts and he's leading up to his jokes and so on. And finally, wow, you are beautiful. You have a beautiful suit. Wait a minute. You're all wearing the same clothes. You all have blue suits on, white shirts, and blue ties. Are you aware of what you're doing? You're destroying yourselves. You're walking the herd. You're doing what everyone else does to be assured of your job. You're doing everything that you have to do to keep that position. And my heavens, at what cost? You lose your character, you lose everything. And IBM at that year also had a little plunge. And apparently, what happened to conclude this story, very true story, that comedian came to the back, and no applause, by the way, came to the back, got to the scene, just about to go out. The manager said, man, you ever do that again, you're going to be a dead man. I don't give a damn who you are. You ain't going to do that tomorrow. You insulted every one of us in this room. You got that? I think he smiled and walked away. I thought it was incredible. So what we're doing here is we're making the career group become something viable, something really good. When they do that without thinking, when they behave only according to the rules set by the group, where is the value? Where is the creativity? And so on and on. Now here is Mr. Spongy. He's picked up a career. He wanted to be a teacher. So he thought he'd go to school. He got his diploma very quickly, a lot of money, bought himself a suit and a nice position. And there he stands, trying to teach this little lovely person who can't really yet communicate. They cannot talk together. You can't not bring them together, boom, 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 bang, bang, bang. Nothing will ever happen. Nothing at all. And so Spongy is Mr. Spongy, I should call him with more dignity. Mr. Spongy now is very, very much alarmed. He doesn't seem to understand why the child, the new child, the person there is able to connect with him. So I said, well, come along and we'll give you kind of a little show. And let's see what we can do. First of all, this is not how we do it. This is simply the outline. I'll give you an idea in a moment, if I can, with what we really do. But the point is this. In order to prepare you for outside, in order for you to be a good teacher, first and foremost, you have to consider drama. Now, drama, we all know, is the do-all of everything. We have it for action. We have it for empathy, as Adler puts it, as the expression of empathy. And drama helps us in all that we want. Energy, the on switch is always on. The off switch is never off. For energy, everything is being pumped all the time. No stop, no stop. Creativity, creativity. And then as we go down to passion, passion. Think of this as the five senses. First, look about you, but don't look. See what's out there. Listen, but just don't listen. Hear what's going on. And hear, best of all, people who can't really speak. Hear what they have to say. And third, of course, smell what you have, but also smell what you don't have and what other people crave to have. And then also listen, touch. Listen, we have them go through the progression. Now, finally, just before the emotion, after the smell, comes the taste and the food. Your food is good food, but a lot of people don't have any food to talk about. And that is a sin of which we are responsible. And so what we're left with is the final step, namely touch. And touch, to me, I believe, is the most important of all the five senses. By the way, it's the only letter that has no reciprocity. The only letter that has reciprocity. This is the way that works. And now, this is what I try to convey to this man, and went on to tell him that, of course, you also have the notion of the competency. It means who you are. Know who you are. Understand yourself. And be able to do what you can. But be open, and do it openly, and do it well. And be aware of the fact that you are a person who may be relied on. You have all the qualities that you need for success. And then ultimately, the last two words, to please, separately. The best teachers, our ancients, way, 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 way back, had the best cure for how to teach. Number one, please people. When you go in there with a whip, no one's going to listen to you. Nobody's going to want you. They're going to start killing you. So be pleasurable, be happy, be nice with them. And then set the table for that and suck them right in with the obvious need to instruct. And to instruct in a way that's important. Now, before we do that, I'm going to give you a little example of what we do very quickly. That is not what we do. This is what we apply. But what we're doing in the action room, moving around, talking, firing, Muhammad Ali. And now, getting to the fact where, and Muhammad Ali, by the way, would have been the best teacher in the world. With his movement, with his understanding, and with his threatening punch and knowledge, he could not miss. And we have him in our class. Now, at this point, I said, well, let's go a step further and take this. When I count down to 1 from 3, please make the sound boom. 3, 2, 1. Boom. And what is left? What is left for teaching? The only way to teach. The only way to get through all the garbage, honesty, love, all the good qualities, the best and only way, I believe, to teach is to diminish all of the crusts, all of those concrete coats with steel buttons and get down to simple heart-to-heart involvement. That, to me, is the best road to have, the best way to teach, and I think people who do that gain a lot more than anything they could ever possibly have done. This is an important step forward, and I'd just like to give you all a very quick lesson. When I raise my hands, please, I'll do this very quickly, and let's have a quick sample. 1 minute. I will say, je vous aime. Say it, everybody. Louder, je vous aime. Now I'm going to move around the room. In a minute, I'll look at you, snap at you, but look at him. Say it quickly. Je vous aime. Say it. All right. All right, you go so quickly that everybody has to be on his or her feet, and I'm just dragging out for the next few seconds, and then you can start throwing things at me, and we'll have a good time. So, ladies and gentlemen, my message is a very simple one. This is what we try to do in our classes, is to get down to where it's heart to heart. No matter what the subject is, we're treating it in that way that is appropriate. And everyone has to get involved, and everyone loves to do this. It's an excellent, simple manner of communicating. And don't forget, teaching really is like making love. And the more we do that, the more we're compelled to go back and do more and more again. So you are the best group I have ever met in the whole world, and I'm grateful to you for being with me. Thank you very much.